Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Makakwadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Makakwadash. Now Than Kal Halalim, La Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Makakwadash. And Shalom to the elect out there. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, The Ungodly and the Wicked, or what will happen to the ungodly and the wicked. Now I have a list that I put together, which you can't see. I put it on my notepad on my computer. And so what I did was, now the precepts that I have on my notepad on the word ungodly are all, believe it or not, all from the Apocrypha, mostly from the book of Ecclesiasticus and one from Wisdom of Solomon. And the list that I have on the wicked are all from the scriptures. But what I did was, I said, let me go and put in the word the ungodly. Make this job easy for me. And these are scriptures, to meditate on. So I wanted to show you this. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, this is my newest short video that I put up, entitled "The Fool Hath Said in His Heart, There Is No God." This man looks like an Edomite. I take it that he's an Edomite. He's definitely an Edomite. He said he don't believe. You're gonna watch the video. He said he doesn't believe in the Most High. He said it in a sort of pompous, proud manner. And you're gonna see the fear in this man's his face. You're gonna see his face change. He's gonna have real fear in his heart, and it's gonna show after he makes this statement. And this man is not right in the head right now. He's not right in the head. So let's listen, and then I'm gonna go to these precepts. And this is beautiful, because none of these Edomites believe in the Most High. Real talk, none of them do. Because if they did, Vocab, you got Vocab, he doesn't believe in the Most High. Ricky Gantz, he doesn't believe in the Most. None of these guys, none of these people believe. If you're an Edomite, you don't believe in the Most High. And if you believe in any type of spirit, you're going to believe in Satan. If you believe in the spirit, a lot of them don't believe there's spirits out there. A lot of them think that when you die, you cease to exist. And they go by this theory that they go by the theory of evolution, that we just evolved. We were tadpole and we became a frog. Then the frog leaped out and he eventually became a monkey, and the monkey stood up, which is stupid, because if that's the case, you would find, because things constantly evolve, right? Because of weather conditions, climate, which is weather conditions. Now, if that's the case, that a man came from a monkey, you would find a sort of half monkey, half man. You got chimpanzees, you got silverback gorillas, you have all type of animals monkeys or gorillas, and they don't change. You don't see any of them kind of looking human. Even though they have the characteristics of human, they're different. They're a whole different species than us. So that's stupid when you speak about evolution. That's utterly stupid. Scriptures speak about science falsely so-called, which science means knowledge. So anyway, now this is right. You see that light there, right? This is that look he got in his face. He had this confident, proud look, and he proudly and with pomp, um, with pomp, you know, and pride and ego, and his ego saying, "Look, there's no God. There's no God. I'm gonna prove that this man's an Edomite, and he's going into slavery." So let me let you play it, and I'll get back to my topic. I hope you can hear it.
Three, two, one, now. Okay, this is very concerning.
When an atheist accidentally proves the existence of God.
If there was a God, there'd be a lightning strike in 3, 2, 1, now.
You can see how his face slightly changed. That was fear in his heart. That was fear, immediate fear in his heart. He went from being pompous and proud and arrogant to humbling down to the Most High. The Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh's a bad dude. He's a bad man. And right now, the Lord, that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, along with the angels, they're just playing with this man. That's why there's so many UFO sightings taking place. I did some research, and I can pull it back up. I pulled up a list of earthquakes throughout the planet, right? So I went from, what was it, 2019, 20, 21, 22. So I went back 4 years from 2019 to 2022. Do you know how many earthquakes hit different areas of the planet Earth? Most of them they don't even report. Over 50,000. So when the scriptures say there shall be earthquakes in different places or diverse places, 50,000 earthquakes worldwide, that's a lot of earthquakes. 1,000 is a lot, 100 is a lot, but we're talking 52. We're talking 50 plus thousand earthquakes that took place around the world. Like I said, they don't put it on the news. Why? Because they don't want to fear the people. When we was out there Saturday speaking, almost at the end of closing of the camp, I was looking up and I clearly saw an orb just sitting up there. So Gabar was in the spirit speaking. So I said, well, there's an orb up there. And he kind of looked and kind of went back to speaking. The spirit was on him to speak. Then I kind of looked to my right side. Then there appeared 2 more orbs pretty much next to that orb, but I had to turn my head to see. I said, oh, wow, there's 3 of them. And then we did the closing of the camp. And when we close, you know, you kind of look, you get in the car, do whatever you got to do. And you look up to see if they're there. And it was a clear sky. It was a night sky. But it was clearly, you can see an orb. It was a light and it stood there. You know, what you do is when you see a so-called UFO, a chariot, when you see it, you kind of rule out whether it's a weather balloon. Wasn't a weather balloon. It wasn't a helicopter, because you would have heard the noise from the chopper, chopping the wind. That's what they call a chopper. It wasn't a plane, because the plane moves. Now, it could be so high in the sky or far away that it looks like it's not moving, but eventually you'll see that it's moving, and you'll see, you know, like red lights or whatever, like mostly red lights. You'll see the red lights blinking on and off, and you know that's a plane. So this light, this orb, was just up there, and it wasn't a star, because it was too close to the earth to be a star. So it wasn't a star. So I ruled out it wasn't a blimp, it wasn't a plane, It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't one of those helium balloons. And then you come to the conclusion that that's something that the term is anomaly, with that something that you can't name. And Esau sees that all the time. Esau has these the elite of Esau. They have observatories that are in different parts of the world, and they constantly filming the sky from different angles, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So they see more of those sightings than us because they're constantly recording the skies. So they see things that if they was to say, okay, I'm gonna show you this unidentified flying object on the news. This thing, get ready for this. It's 15 miles in diameter, meaning it can cover the whole island of Manhattan. So you look up in the sky, you see nothing but the bottom of the ship. So what the Most High is doing is taunting this man. The angels are taunting this man. He's playing with this man. And it's beautiful because of Nick Cannon, which we're talking about, what, a year, 2 years ago, when he did his show, and he had Professor Griff on there. And I remember when they got on Professor Griff, and they forced him to pretty much not be a part of a Public Enemy, and that was on the Richard Bay show. And we're talking about the 80s. We're talking about 88, 89, 90. Wasn't no 92. It had to be 89, 90. Somewhere around there. I mean, you can look it up. But they made a big deal. I mean, they made a big deal on the news. A lot of you wasn't even born, but they made a big deal on the news about Professor Griff. And he made statements. And they put so much pressure on him that he had to leave that group Public Enemy. And his position in that group was Minister of Information. So that's information. He said that we are Semitic people. I don't remember if he said they're not the people, but he did say we are the Semitic people. And I remember that. They made a big deal over the news. They're trying to get an apology out of him. I believe he did apologize, but the damage is already done. Now, when you go to, this is why we call this man, the scriptures call this man the ungodly and the wicked. He's the wicked. I'm gonna get into the precepts. Just bear with me. Now, Ye went on. This was maybe around the same time as Nick Cannon that he did his show, and the most controversial show of Nick Cannon is when he had this guy, Professor Griff. Excuse me, I'm getting old. And he said the same thing. He was tasteful about what he said. He spoke about those people, and he basically said that we are Semitic people. And I believe they even said, and that whole video is on my Odyssey page. Or you can go to YouTube and go to what's the brother's name? What's this guy? Divine Prospect. Something Harbinger Ministries, whatever. But if you go to his video, you put his name in there, Divine Prospect, it'll take you to his site, and you can put in Nick Cannon, and the video will pop up. So what I did was I made a copy of the video, which is an hour and some change, and I put it on my Odyssey page about maybe, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago. So, when Nick Cannon did that video, the ADL and the small hats, came against them, and they even had a small hat on there on his show, looking at him like he wanted to kill him. The look of hate was in this, but they talk about y'all hate. They hate. They were looking at this guy like they wanted to kill him and eat him. And they they buck broke him. They buck broke him. The same thing with well, they kind of buck broke Ye, and the reason why he's not no longer Kanye because he signed his name away. The saying, sign your life away. Or when you sign a contract, dealing with the hip hop world and movies and actors, they take your name. There was a movie with Richard Pryor, The Life of Richard Pryor. What did they call that? What did they call that movie? I'm not going to say it. What did they call that movie? Did they call it the Richard Pryor story? No, they called it something else. And why did they call it that movie? Name it that movie? Put that fictitious name in that movie instead of his real name? Because he sold his name and his likeness. And Ye took a lesson from Prince. They had his name. So what did he do? He put up a symbol. That's my new name. So people kept calling him Prince anyway. And they said the artist formerly known as Prince. And the people laughed at it because they didn't understand. They said Prince is a little crazy, he's eccentric. No, he pulled a fast one on them. And Ye did the same thing. That's why when you watch Ye in that white that warehouse with all the clothing, somebody said Kanye. He said, my name's not Kanye, my name is Ye. So people are they still gonna label him as Kanye West, but he'll never say that. He'll say, I'm Ye. I'm Ye. And there's a reason why. And now he would not be able to say Ye, call himself Ye, if he signed contract and gave his name up. So Jake is waking up, man. Jake is waking up. So anyway, you had the small hat. Well, that small hat had a big hat. Sometimes they had this big hat on too. The big hats and the small hats. You had this guy on this guy's show in his studio, sitting down, looking at him like you want to, bite his eye out. And you can clearly see that Nick Cannon was kind of intimidated. You can clearly see it. I don't know if the video's up on YouTube. If it is, somebody put it in the comment section. I'll watch it. But you can see this devil's face. And he had to go through these things. He had to get sensitivity training, and he had to go to the Holocaust Museum, and he had to bow down and kiss ass, man. He was emasculated. He was buck broken. That's what they called in slavery. So, the same thing with Kyrie. They butt broke him. Buck broke him. I say butt broke because that's what they did. They butt broke him. You don't know if they had him, a bunch of men popping him, or he rode the goat or whatever. We don't know what happened. But as soon as them small hats in the audience that were asking him a question at his first game, what did they bring up? You see? So anyway, I'm going to play this again, then I'm going to go into the precepts.
Okay, this is very concerning.
When an atheist accidentally proves the existence of God.
Okay. If there was a God, there'd be a lightning strike in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, this is very concerning.
You saw the look on his face? You saw the subtle look on his face? That was a look of fear. Let's watch it again.
When an atheist accidentally proves the existence of God.
Okay. If there was a God, there'd be a lightning strike in 3, 2, 1, now.
Look at the look on his face. That's called the 1,000-yard stare. You can see the look in this Edomite's face. But anyway, let me go into these precepts here. I hope you heard it. If not, go to my page and you can watch it. It's not even a minute long. So anyway, let's go. So like I said, I put in the term be ungodly. And it comes up 21, it comes up 80, occurs 80 times in 21 verses, including 13 exact phrases shown first, which is right here. So I'm going to go through this quickly. And then you're going to realize that, well, if you don't know it, the ungodly is also talking about Israel as well. So when you read the scriptures, you got to put these precepts in context. And you'll see what I'm talking about. The ungodly is somebody that's clearly ungodly. But ultimately, the ungodly is referring to you Edomites. Whether you claim you believe in God or not, you really don't believe in God. Give me a sec. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to breeze through this. I'm not going to make this long. Psalms 1, verse 4. You got Psalms 1, verse 4, verse 5, and verse 6. It says, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. And that's talking about after these missiles hit, after this place is destroyed. It's really talking about Babylon the Great. And who's going to be part of that ungodly? 2/3 of Jake that are in America. We use the term 2/3 because you're going to have Israelites scattered throughout the world that don't know that they're Israel. And we're going to come back. When we come back down, we're going to teach we're going to separate the nations. We're going to put the Israelites over here. We're going to put the Edomites over here. We're going to put the Canaanites over there. We're going to put this group over there, the Ishmaelites. And we're going to show that these Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites, that they're the Israelites. And if they jump up saying I'm a Roman Catholic, Jesus white, we're going to put them to death on the spot. And I was watching a couple of videos. There was this woman kind of getting on us about us calling ourselves the people of Israel, which was put up by the elder head of Baltimore, Karate Zabah. So the last video he put up was this Jake woman, and she was basically talking, shit. But then he put up another video with another Jake calling us trash, calling all the Israelites trash, or most of them trash. And I was thinking, I was getting angry, and I said, "Hey, when the Most High starts killing these Jakes that came up against us, I'm gonna be happy on that day, and they are the enemies, and I hate them." So when the Most High, when the destruction comes, to tell you that in Revelation 18, it said that the apostles and the prophets, they're going to rejoice to see the downfall of this man. They said we're going to rejoice. It tells you that in Revelation 11. So we're going to laugh at their downfall. Fifth verse. Therefore, the ungodly, which is Esau, the Edomites, shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So who are the sinners? The sinners are the Israelites that don't want to accept this truth. That's also in Amos. Was it Amos 9? Most High going to sift the house of Israel, and he's going to destroy the sinners that say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And our response is going to be laughter. Sixth verse. For the Lord Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish, be destroyed utterly. Psalms 3, verse 7. Arise, arise, O Yahweh, save me, because we need to be saved. O my power, for thou hast smitten all mine enemies upon the cheek. Now, when you get smitten on the cheek, you ever watch if you watch um, Earl Spence Jr., he's known for taking eyes, meaning he'll mess your eye up. You know, he'll break your eye socket, your orbital bone. And when you get a broken orbital bone, you can't, the spirit goes out of you. You give up. You go on one knee. You don't come out the next round. Anybody that gets that's a hard shot or hard number of shots. So when you get your orbital bone or your cheekbone broken, you give up. So the Most High gonna take Esau's eye. He's gonna take his eyes. He's gonna break his orbital bone. His national orbital bone will be broken. Let me read that again. Psalms 3, verse 7. Arise, O Yahweh, save me, O my power, for thou, and this is whoever the psalmist is, I believe this is David. He's talking about Esau. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly, the teeth. Now, animals in the wild, their power is what? In their teeth, right? So if an animal doesn't have teeth and or claws, you have a chance against them. It says Psalm 73, verse 12. I really should read the first verse from Psalm 73. It says a whole lot. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Now, you had the IUIC march around Barclays Center in behalf of Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving don't give a damn about y'all, and he said that. They said, do you know that there was a group out there called the IUIC that came in your name? And you know what he said? He said, what group? There was a group out there? He knew, everybody in the arena knew that IUIC was out there. So what did he do? He denied you guys. And plus, he's rich. He's one of the rich. You know what the scriptures say, what is that, Matthew 19, about the rich man, that he went away with his head down, sorrowing because he had much possessions. And that's what's coming out now. These jakes, they're shutting up. They ain't gonna say nothing negative about the small hats because they'll lose their contracts and they'll go back to working at Wendy's. And Kyrie could have walked away. I was hoping that he would have said, you know what, I'm giving up. Basically, give up, no longer play for the NBA. Maybe go to China or Australia, some goddamn where. And he would have made the same money or more. But he didn't do that. He wanted to stay in America. He wanted to play in the NBA because he wanted to make more money. This man's supposedly worth about $500 million. The Nike contract that he has, that's a $90 million contract. That means, let's say that's all the money you got. You can live off $1 million for the next 90 years. And you're going to live to be no 90 years. So you can live, your kids can live, your grandchildren can live. If you manage that money right, you can live good. You, your kids, and your kids' kids. So he didn't want to do that because he wanted to make more money. So guess what? Ultimately, you know what this guy's going to do? Because they buck broke him. You know what they're going to do? They're going to, when the charagma, when they introduce the charagma to the world, like the small hat said, you promoted that movie. Well, guess what? He's going to be promoting the charagma. He'll take it this time. He ain't going to buck up no more. Well, he bucked up against the jump shot, but I don't believe he's going to buck up against the charagma because you won't be able to get no money. You'll be homeless. So in order for you to reject the charagma, you're going to have to be willing to be homeless, man. And if you're not willing to do that, however this thing is, the Most High, we're looking for the Most High to preserve us, Isaiah 65. mainly around about you can start the 9th verse and read down. Okay, it says Romans 5 verse 6. But when we were yet without strength, we are without strength right now. In due time, the Messiah died for the ungodly. Now, what does it mean by ungodly right here? It's talking about Israelites that are not in this truth, that ultimately come into the truth, because the Lord died for all Israel, starting with the elect. First Timothy 1 verse 9, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient among Israel, for the ungodly, which are Israel, and for sinners. Who are the sinners? Israel. For unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for men slayers. And this is what Jake does in the hood. All day long, all day, every day. Jake rarely ever, shoots at an Edomite because they got that godly fear. But they'll shoot another Jake in a minute. See what happened with the young girl down there that went to Mexico with her so-called friends. And they were college educated. They had businesses. They were doing good. But guess what? There were a bunch of hoods, all of them, including her. They would go down there, they taking videos in pools and shaking their ass and shit. They were dealing with different men. Because what I understand that her man was back in the States. What in the hell is your woman going with a bunch of girls down to Mexico? They looking to get with other men. Our women are completely out of order for the most part. Now she was 25 years old and she had a successful business. So at that age, you should have had maybe a 5-year-old, maybe another 2-year-old, and maybe like a toddler in the baby carriage. Because you can't say, well, I didn't have kids because I couldn't afford it. She had successful businesses, man. She wanted to be a hoe. And she should have known what type of people she was around. And that's why, who made this statement? The two most undateable people on the planet is the black woman, and the dude said the Chinese man. I said, oh shit. Women ain't in the gooks. The women ain't in the gooks. Anyway, it says 1 Peter 4 verse 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, we are the righteous. Hopefully elect, we call ourselves. And it says we're going to scarcely make it. Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear, which are our people? They're going to be destroyed right along with the wicked. 2 Peter 2 verse 5. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness. And that's what we do. We preach righteousness. And we're defamed for that, preaching righteousness. When we say we're the people, and we say those small hats are not the people, they call it hate speech. It ain't hate speech, it's truth speech. You are Edomite, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. And that's talking about, that refers to all those nations. It wasn't just Esau, it was all those nations. Psalm 43 verse 1, judge me, O power, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. Esau is an ungodly nation. They don't believe in the Most High. Oh, deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. This man's an unjust man. It says the just shall live by faith. Esau doesn't live by faith. because he's unjust. He's the devil. 2 Peter 2, verse 6, which I read. 2 Peter 2, verse 5. So as you read on, it said that they were taken out by way of a flood, right? Upon the world of the ungodly. It says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, that's another example, into ashes. And these people of Sodom and Gomorrah were so-called Hamites, Canaanites, condemning them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. What does it mean to live ungodly? To not follow the Lord's statutes and commandments, being a mole, eating pork, all kinds of things. So now we're going to go into the Apocrypha. Okay, let me open this up here. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to bring this one up first. Ecclesiasticus 21, verse 27. When the ungodly Esau curses Satan, he curses his own soul. This precept right here proves who the devil is. If you got a Edomite that says, "The hell with you, Satan," you cursing out your own daddy, man. The scriptures say, "Honor thy father and thy mother." You dishonoring and you disrespecting your own spiritual father. That's your father. You Edomites that are into witchcraft and coven and so forth, and you worship Lucifer and Satan. And Lucifer's not a person. Lucifer represents the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. That's which are the Edomites, the elite of Esau. Lucifer and the elite are the same thing. The enlightened one, the Illuminati. What does the word illuminate mean? It means to brighten, right? By way of light or fire. Well, the same thing with Lucifer. Lucifer means bright star. It says, when the ungodly curses Satan, he curses his own soul. So there's nothing wrong with you Edomites worshiping the spiritual demon Satan, because you are the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. Ecclesiasticus 7, verse 17. Humble thyself greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. And that's a specific fire that's going to hit this place. That's the missiles setting this place on fire, and the lasers that come forth from the chariots, which the angels operate, and the deliverance of Yahushua. And we're going to be in his ship. I'm looking to be in his ship. Next precept. The children of the ungodly shall not bring forth many branches, but are as unclean roots upon a hard rock. And now this goes hand in hand with Isaiah. Let me get you that. Isaiah Isaiah 14. And Isaiah 14, you can read the whole chapter. Isaiah 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So Edomites will come up and say, well, that was my foreparents. That's not me. Yeah, well, your foreparents are not here, so you gotta pay for their sins. And there's a thing called reincarnation. There's a biblical concept called reincarnation. So you are your fathers in another life. So you got to. So what did I didn't do nothing? I helped you. But what did you do in a previous life? What are you doing in 2,000 years ago that you lived 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago? What did you do then? Well, I don't know. Well, the Most High has the record. He has the record of what you did. So if you did nothing but good for Jake, you know, what did you do in your previous life? And then, even if you didn't do anything, you're still going into captivity under us. Real talk. It said that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. 22nd verse, for I will raise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon, because you are the daughter of Babylon, the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. I will also make it a possession of the bitter. Bitter meaning bitter, right? Let's look that up. Okay, a shrinking animal. I will also make it a possession for the bitter. Now that means that goes hand in hand with Isaiah 13 and also Isaiah 34:16. I think it's about the 16th verse where it speaks about the animals in Babylon after it becomes a desert. So the bitter is talking about these desert-like animals. The only thing that's going to inhabit Babylon is these desert-like creatures. They're built for living in the desert. And pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord. Let me look up the word besom. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that means a sweeping agent, like a broom. Let's see. The word is mata'a, ta'a. Yeah, broom, besom, a sweeping agent, because that's how the radiation is going to hit you. You're going to have the initial blast, and then you're going to have the sweeping agent of the nuclear waste. It says English, compare English to dust, i.e., remove dust, removing dirt, and you're the dirt. The scriptures speak about chaff. You're gonna be the chaff in the wind. So this is you can't compare this this event to anything in history. Even the time of Jacob's trouble. This is the time of Jacob's trouble. And I have some more scriptures in the on the wicked. I'm not gonna cover them. I might cover one or two. It says Ecclesiasticus 16 verse 6. See, these scriptures comfort you. That's in Romans, I believe that's 15:4, if I'm not mistaken. And also in the Maccabees, it speaks about the law that the scriptures that will comfort us. And see, when you go through these scriptures and you watch these videos, this keeps you up. You got a lot of guys that fall off. You know why they fall off? Because they're not going into the scriptures, they're not watching the videos, and they have doubt in their mind and doubt in their heart. It says, Ecclesiastes 16:6, in the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. That's talking about you Edomites and your kingdom. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So comfort one another with these sayings. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19. And there's a lot of information in the Wisdom of Solomon because that's Solomon. That's the words. Those are the words of Yahweh Shai. As for the ungodly, Esau, wrath came upon them without mercy unto the end. Esau is the end of the world, for he knew before what they would do. So there's nothing that you can do. You can't repent. Antiochus Epiphanes, he tried to repent to the Lord. He praised the Lord. He repented to the Lord. The Lord didn't have no mercy on him because he's an Edomite. Most I ain't coming to save no Edomite. The woman, the Syrophoenician, who said she was a dog. Oh yes, dog doesn't. Oh yes, Lord, does not the dog eat from the master's plate? She was an Israelite. She was like Cornelius, because she was caught up in that, going back to Antiochus Epiphanes, where they forced him not to keep the laws. So she was looked at as a heathen, but she was an Israelite. That's why the Lord ultimately saved her. Anybody that's teaching otherwise, you're going off. And that's it. There's a couple more, and I read some of them already. You know what? Let me go. I'll give you two more. How about that? Two more. This is Job. This is the book of Job 20. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up on the scriptures, regular script, blue letter. Job 21:17, then I'm going to jump down to 30. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft cometh their destruction upon them? The Most High distributeth sorrows in his anger. So when the Most High takes his candle out, it's going to be taken out for good. Then they're going to be set on fire. 30th verse. The wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath, the Most High's wrath. I'll give you a couple more. Job 18, verse 5, and then we're going to jump down to 21. Yeah, the light of the wicked shall be what? Put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. And that's what makes him Lucifer, the shining light. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, And this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High. Get a chance to read this whole chapter. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next one.